I just got back from vacation in Florida with Mike, and something kind of funny happened before we left. I semi impulsively dyed my hair because I was overdue for a trip to the salon, but I decided to do it at home to save some time and, the $300 that it typically costs. And I thought it would just be a bit darker to match my roots, but it came out pretty dark, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube. But honestly, I kind of love it. It's fun for fall, it's different, and Mike likes it too. And it did get me thinking while I was lounging by the pool last week, how often do we resist change, even when it's exactly what we need? So today I want to talk about how midlife can be this incredible season of change if you stop letting fear make your decisions for you. So yeah, the hair dye situation, it was one of those why not moments. And even though it's just hair, it symbolizes something a bit deeper because in midlife, a lot of women start to feel this pull to do something different, to shake things up a bit, but we often ignore it. We tell ourselves we'll wait until things settle down or the kids are older or when we have more time or money, but that day rarely comes. And I hear it all the time from women in my community. I wish I could quit my job, sell everything and move. I wish my husband and I connected more. I wish we could take more time off. I no longer feel excited about life. Or excuses like I'm too old to start a business. I don't have time to work out or start a new routine. Or what if I don't like that new job? And I get it. Change can feel scary, especially when you have spent decades being the dependable one, the mother, the wife, the professional, the woman who keeps it all together. But sometimes change is the most grounded, self-honoring thing that we can do. Because in my opinion, there is nothing worse than staying stuck and unhappy, especially because it can start to impact your health and well-being. Midlife is when your hormones shift. Your patience for bullshit starts to drop, and you start asking, what do I actually want? Your body is changing, your energy is shifting, and so do your priorities. For me, this has shown up in a bunch of ways lately. Mike and I just spent that week away, and we've been talking about taking more time off for a while, not working through vacations, not bringing my laptop with me like I used to do every time we went away, having more fun and reconnecting. We've been together for over 16 years, and it takes intention to keep the connection alive. At home, I've been changing up our environment. We got new bedding. I added some faux leather pillows that I am loving. I put fresh flowers on the dining room table. These small, inexpensive changes can make the space really feel more like you. And they have been having such a positive impact on how I feel. But also Mike, even though men don't always notice small details, he's been commenting on the changes in our home, saying it feels more calm, more cozy, and just overall welcoming. I also started rebellion body workouts to build more muscle, which is so important over 40. And I am really loving them. I can be a little bit lazy when it comes to strength training because I find it kind of boring, but I'm really liking these workouts because there's a lot of variety in them and they're just kind of fun. And that sense of progress and strength feels very empowering. And then career-wise, I have shared that I have been making changes in the business, like posting less on social media, not having to be on there so much, cutting expenses where I can, simplifying our offers, and even changing my work hours. Maybe you've been craving something new, going back to school, getting certified in something different, starting a side business, or finally stepping into a leadership role that you've been wanting. I even started reading less health books and more fiction for fun. I used to put so much pressure on myself to constantly be learning. And of course, I still make time for learning so I can best support my clients and those of you who listen to the podcast, but with much better balance now. Because if I don't fill my cup, my clients and those of you listening will not get the best of me. There are so many ways that you can reinvent yourself in midlife, but what holds most of us back is fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failing, or even fear of outgrowing certain people in your life, whether it's a friend, family member, or even your partner. And of course, that can feel scary. You may be stuck in a really unhealthy relationship. And I will be the first to say, please work on it before quitting. What's that saying? The grass isn't greener on the other side, it's green where you water it. Yeah, I believe that firmly. But I also know that if both partners are not willing to do the work, sometimes you do need to step away. But it's not always about making these massive, dramatic changes, especially not overnight. It's about giving yourself permission to start to experiment. Maybe it's dyeing your hair too, or redecorating your space. Maybe it's trying a new type of workout, or taking a class with your partner to improve your relationship. Mike and I recently watched an online workshop from Jake Woodard and his wife, Melissa. I have mentioned them in previous episodes, and you may not agree with everything that they say, but I encourage you to be open-minded if you are desiring change in your relationship. Or maybe it's finally focusing on your health and working with us in the Perimenopause method. You can learn more about that program and apply via the link in the show notes. The point is, you don't need to know the entire roadmap that's ahead of you. You just need to take one step at a time to get momentum going. Now, I do want to cover why change feels so uncomfortable. Most people don't resist change because they're lazy or unmotivated. They resist it because it feels unsafe. Your nervous system is wired to protect you. So even if you're miserable in your current situation, whether it's that stressful job, the disconnected relationship, or the same old habits that are harming you, they're familiar. And the familiar feels safer than the unknown to most people. And that's why change can trigger anxiety or self-doubt. Your body senses uncertainty as a threat, even when logically you know that it's time for something new. The key is not to overhaul everything at once. Don't go from 0 to 60. It's not sustainable, and that could be really scary. Take one small grounded action that tells your body, I'm safe. I can handle this. You can even create a mantra around it. I am safe. I am provided for. Everything will work out, whatever works for you. And start small, like trying a new workout, speaking up for yourself in a conversation that you would normally stay quiet. Say no to an invitation. Update your environment like I've been doing. Try a new morning ritual that actually nourishes you. These small changes build trust within your nervous system. And over time, that helps to build your confidence and sense of safety. Because the truth is, if you're unhappy where you are, nothing changes if nothing changes. And staying comfortable often costs you more than taking that leap ever will. Midlife really can be a time when you focus on yourself a bit more. So maybe it's time to ask, what part of me is craving something new? Where have I been playing it too safe out of fear? What would happen if I stopped overthinking and just started? You may be surprised how good it feels to say yes to something different. So whether it's a new hair color, like I did, a new habit, or a whole new direction, let it be a reminder that you are allowed to change. You're allowed to want more joy in your life, more adventure, or even just more downtime. That's not a midlife crisis. That, my friend, is growth. So thanks for listening, and please share this with the woman who needs a bit of encouragement today. Until next time. Hey, before you go, if you're resonating with this podcast and realize that your symptoms are anything but normal, my comprehensive program, the Perimenopause Method, may be a great fit for you. My team and I help women in their mid-30s to early 50s improve symptoms such as fatigue, disrupted sleep, anxiety, erratic moods, bloating, and much more. We do this by utilizing advanced testing, a personalized plan tailored to you, women's health and hormones education, and ongoing support so you never feel alone and you get results. If you're ready to commit to your health and feel like yourself again, but even better, check out the link in the show notes to learn more about the Perimenopause Method. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not, nor do I act as a doctor or any other medical professional. I am not providing healthcare, medical services, or attempting to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any physical, mental, or emotional disease or condition. The information shared is not intended to be a substitute for the professional medical advice provided by your own medical or mental health provider.